Hey.
What's up?
Yes, thanks for tuning in to the chat where we are. Where are we?
We're we're unfiltered and we're uncut.
Okay. Is that where we're going to be tonight?
That is what
absolutely.
We got some heavy topics. I want to make sure that everybody's going to be unfiltered, unscripted, uncut, and truthful, especially with my topics.
Okay. So make sure you already know the routine. Hello, Michelle. Thanks for tuning in. Please make sure you share. Please make sure you tell us where you're tuning in from. And we will go ahead and get started in just a minute. We'll let some of you all come on in. So how was everybody's weekend? How's it been going?
I did nothing. Sunday we did absolutely nothing. Justin wanted to go to Busch Gardens, but I was just like, I was so tired. I had a branding shoot last week. I worked every day. So like Sunday, I knew I did not want to do anything. I just wanted to rest. So we just did nothing. We lounged around in our pajamas, and I think he cooked breakfast. And we just relaxed. And I was just like, at the end of the day, I was like, I enjoy doing absolutely nothing today.
Yeah, sometimes it's like that. Sometimes you just want to sit there and do nothing. You don't want to answer anybody. You don't want anybody to call your name. You get irritated when somebody even is like, hey, can you? No.
Right.
No.
Leave me alone.
Right.
Alone.
Right. Sounds like a perfect day to me.
Yeah. What about y'all? Anything exciting?
Well, I had the opportunity on Saturday. I went to a conference, like a business building conference, and I don't know if you guys heard of Tania Vaughn Johnson, but she was absolutely amazing at this conference, and it was about like a millionaire mindset, branding, building. She's the first and only Black female real estate broker on Wall Street.
Oh,
so
okay.
I learned a lot from her and connected with a lot of people, a lot of networking. It was a phenomenal event, and I'm glad I went. Great. It was a great time.
So what's your method of knowing about these events coming in town? Are you part like of a networking group or what?
Not officially, but I mean, I guess just part being, I guess, in this particular entrepreneurial, industry in the area, people will shout out or reach out or, follow different people who may, put together different events.
Right.
But I do certainly shoot that stuff out, especially if I know people are interested. Because that's what I'm about, is just wealth building, networking. I'm a firm believer in, it's who you know sometimes, and and being in the room.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna put myself in the room, and that's what I did Saturday. It was a great connections.
Was that just for females, for women?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't just for females. As a matter of fact, I was also a vendor at the event. They even had a teenage vendor.
Oh, wow. Okay, so hold on. Let me look through my emails to see if you gave me that shout out, because you said you were always reaching out to people, letting them know. Give me 1 second.
Is that Shay? Is that Shay?
Still looking.
Right.
It's okay.
Yeah, that part, Shanika.
Right. Who's in the hot seat?
Like your emails.
I'll take it. I'll take it. You know what? It'll never happen again.
Okay.
This was her.
Right, exactly.
Now I know Shanika didn't like your post, Chanel, so we could just
Hey, me and Shanika did well. We actually connected.
Okay.
Shanika.
So next time we'll know about it.
She was like,
all right.
Well, I didn't do anything this weekend. I definitely needed that break, especially after a busy week at work. So I'm just happy to be here with you all. We're about to have a good night.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Who's gonna get things started?
I'm scared, Will.
Why?
Uh-oh.
Because Will, you put me on the couch every time. You just put me on the couch.
Okay, let me see. Should I put my couch topic first or second? Let me see. I think I'm gonna do it second.
Okay, so let's welcome our guest. Hello, Sakina, and again, Michelle. Make sure y'all continue to share and get share with your friends and family on Facebook, so we can get some followers in here, and make sure that we have some. Yes, you can subscribe and make sure we can have some good chatting this evening, because we have some really good topics to cover, and so.
Did you want me to start things off or what?
Well, I mean, I can. Hey, thanks
go ahead.
I can start it off.
Okay.
So I want to talk about toxic parents. I want to talk about particularly like toxic mothers, because I keep seeing this, and it's not always like the fathers. I keep seeing people like, my mother was abusive, my mother is toxic, and I don't talk to her, and I don't, it's just too much, and so being that I am like 48, being that I'm 48, and when I hear people say that, and I'm like, well, I don't necessarily know that I could completely like cut my mother off completely and not talk to her, because I think that as I was growing up, it was just like, okay, like outside of it being, being molested or being, the really vulgar things that could happen to a child by a parent, like being screamed at or being hit, was not something that we like, okay, I'm not talking to my mother because she hit me when I was little, or that it was toxic, or that, none of that, but not the same things that you see now. So my thing is, do you think that you could ever just stop talking to your parent? Like, is that something that you could do, to just stop talking to your parent because of maybe what now people deem to be just like so toxic, that has happened to you in your childhood?
Okay. You know what? I don't know if I would call it because of being a toxic parent. I think the situation was toxic, and I think her involvement in the situation was toxic. But I'll give you some backside. So, like, I was on dialysis from 2006 to 2012. And during that time, they were like, you're young, you're active, you have your life ahead of you. See if anybody in your family can get tested to be a possible donor. So my brother stepped forward. He's like, I'm going to do it for you. And, he kept putting it off and putting it off. I found out that my mother had talked him out of doing it, because she said perhaps his son or child or whatever may need a kidney in the future. So to me, that was just like the ultimate betrayal. So I didn't speak to anybody in my family for a little over a year. And I know this was during the time when my brother became, he got his PhD. So the whole family planned this big party up where he was living. It was a white party. And, I ignored all the invitations. I didn't talk to him. And then I believe me and my brother, we actually spoke because he visited me in the hospital once they called me for my kidney, which I got my kidney from. It was an anonymous deceased donor. So, that was the time we went without speaking for over a year, when I didn't speak to anybody, pretty much.
Ooh, that's tough.
Yeah.
That is very tough. That is very, very tough.
Y'all just gonna think I'm the worst. I mean, I feel like we like,
well, do you want to save it for last when you say that?
I can.
You can what?
Okay, so yeah, I mean,
talking. Oh, I was like, wait, you can what?
I can stop talking. In a minute. Split second.
Oh, you can stop talking to your parent?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because
like completely just for a while. That's what I want to know. Completely or for a while?
I probably could do it completely. It depending on, the circumstances. And I'm gonna tell you why. I differentiate between a grudge and I'm not holding a grudge. I'm just protecting myself. You understand? So I don't hold grudges, but I feel like family don't get a pass. I just feel like they don't get a pass. So depending on what it is, yeah, I can do that.
That's the thing that the parents don't get a pass, because I feel like it's a part of me that feels like okay, and I mean Fabian just said what if parents don't respect boundaries though, but like what
Yeah.
kind of like when you say boundaries, like I'm like what type of boundaries? Because I mean
Okay.
I do understand boundaries, like because when it comes to children I feel like that's the boundary. I feel like if I'm telling my child something and then you come behind me and try to redirect or not go along with what I say because you're the grandparent and you say it's okay. Like I have a problem, with that. Like
Okay, so
I
in that
understand,
situation,
but I'm not gonna cut them off.
let's just say all your efforts to get it straight with your parent went on deaf ears, and they just refused to see eye to eye with you and wouldn't change and wouldn't stop the behavior. You wouldn't like distance yourself? I mean,
If it's about children, if it's in reference to children, like if I discipline my child, or if I say my child can't have something around her and then she says, well, they can have it.
yeah.
No, I would just keep on having a conversation and be like, that's my child. And I've already said what I said. I say what I said. I say what I said. Like, no.
Now, what about things that are damaging to your personal relationship with your parents? Because I mean, I understand the kid, the grandkid, but I mean, technically, you know that your child has a separate relationship with with their grandparent than to you. Like I mean, that's your parent, that's your mom, that's your dad. So I mean, at the end of the day, my grandma, I had a different relationship with her than I had with my mom and my dad. So I mean, if you think that like if they did something to you that was like a personal attack on you, do you feel the same way? As because I don't think them telling your child to do something and you're saying, oh no, I disagree, I don't think that's really a personal attack. It's more of just a disagreement.
Right.
Okay, so but when you say personal attack, like give me like a personal attack, like.
Okay, I mean that's a little bit hard, right? I mean, to me, personal attacks are about your character. If they're constantly putting you down, Shanika, you're not, your life isn't together. I
Or
raised
lies
you better
about your
than
baby.
this. Like, oh, you're not. If it is about the baby, yeah, you're not raising that child right. But
So, okay, so me personally, this is my thought. If I can't find myself saying hi all the time, I just find myself saying, I mean, if I can't find myself completely saying bye, I just find myself saying hi a little less. So I wouldn't completely cut her off, but it would just be like, okay, like I have to limit my time. I just have to limit it, especially if it becomes like if it's a pitting between me and my siblings, or if it's always confusion between me and my siblings, and she's sitting in the middle of it. Like that's too much for me. Like that's just too much. And so some things, some things I just, but I don't know. I don't necessarily say I can be like I just can't completely talk to her. Like that would just weigh on me. Like that would just completely just forever, ever, like.
Well, I think in most cases, for people who have completely cut ties with their parents, that what you're talking about, where communication had become less, was already there before the disconnect came. So what if that had already taken place? You had already limited your interactions, but then there was still a lack of disrespect, overstepping of boundaries. Like you would just leave it there?
Well, I being away from home, I've grown to have my own opinion, and me and my mother kind of, sometimes we do butt heads because she's very opinionated, I'm very opinionated, and sometimes it comes to a head. But I still have to stand my ground because I still have an opinion, and I'm not 13, I'm not 12, I'm not 10, I'm not 9, and it's just like, sometimes I do think that, I mean, I am my mother's child. I am a product of her, but I also don't have my father. So I wouldn't want to not have a relationship with my mother because she is the only parent that I have left. But we do. I mean, I would be lying to you to say we don't come to a head, because we do. I mean, and like to the point where like I am not talking, like me verbally, I am not talking to you, like, or I am like, I'm wrong too,
So,
but then it's just like, but then I have to pull back because I'm like, okay, she is your mother, and you wouldn't want your child to speak to you in that manner, but I just sometimes I do feel like I need to say what I have to say, and not all the times does she like it, not all the times do I feel good about after I've said it, but it is it is what it is. But to completely stop talking to her, like
right. So for me, I think I agree. I mean, it's very hard for me to just be like, I'm not like, now to me, I do think that it really depends on your relationship with your parents prior to whatever this incident was. And so for me, for example, um, I always kind of saw myself as a loner. And when I went away to college, I was like, yeah, like this is it. I'm gone, and I didn't really think about it like on a personal note, like I don't want to talk to them anymore. But for me, I just felt like in some ways they were kind of overbearing. Like they had all these opinions on what people should do with their lives. So when I had left home, I was like, this is it, here I am. But, part of me kind of missed it. And although I wasn't reaching out, they reached out to me, while I was out doing whatever I was doing down in Atlanta, having a great time. But when I came back up to live with them after college, when I couldn't find a job, I found myself kind of feeling like, you know what, I need to figure out how to become closer to them and let them into my life. And now that we've butt heads, I've grown, I'm married, I have a whole child, we're having growing pains of fitting in. My dad was talking about, this was like several years ago at this point, but he was talking about how he just couldn't see me as an adult yet. Like, he's like, I see it, but he's like, you just got out of college. Like, what? Like, you're not. And that was a real, reality check for me, because I can only see it from my perspective. And now that I have my own kid, I'm like, dang, like, you know what I mean? I'm like, how am I ever going to see this child? And Chanel, you know what I mean? This child grow up and be an adult. Like, what? Like, how am I ever going to get this out of my head?
Yeah. I mean, my child is traveling right now, and like I gave her a whole list of things. I was like, listen, you need to carry yourself like you are an adult, because you look like, you have your hair up or whatever, but I need you to act like an adult. Okay. And I'm like, well, she is an adult. So you can't say act like an adult, because she is an adult. But it's still very difficult to me. And I have to realize that I am talking to another adult, a grown person, even though she is my child and she's doing adult things. But it's very hard for me. And I think that if she were ever to like just get downright smart with me, like my feelings would be hurt. Like my feelings. Like I think my feelings would be hurt. But I just try not to be. I just like everything can be a conversation. So I just think that let's converse about it. I'm going to say what I have to say. I'm going to allow you to say what you have to say, but stay in your lane. I'm still your mother, and that's what my mama says to me. I'm still your mother. Like even at 48 years old, she's like, I'm still your mother. And I'm like, okay, but
I think that's fair. But I mean, like I said, I'm having growing pains trying to kind of see, how do I fit into my parents' life as an adult who's now raising starting a family,
right,
versus back when I had no real responsibility beyond paying some bills. Like I didn't really have to worry about anything. But now I'm like, how do I kind of reconnect as an adult? And they haven't done anything to me that would say I can't talk to them. But
right.
I allow for the idea. I don't say other people must always talk to their parents, because I've seen some shit where I'm like, yo, like if I were in your position, I just couldn't. I would never speak to that family member, uncle, brother, cousin, whatever it is. And the only people in my family who I've cut off, have said some things to me that have really like harmed my well-being. Like I'm like, all right, like, you know, I don't feel safe with you, you know, versus my parents. You know, they said some stuff I ain't like, but I still feel safe with them. I trust them.
Right. Like not all parents are loving.
Yes, exactly.
Or not all people have grown up in love, even though you may have stern parents or parents that enforce rules, they were still done out of love. Not everybody grew up in that environment.
Yeah.
Okay.
As you can see.
All right. So yeah, that's okay. Okay, then one more, and then we'll leave. Do y'all cuss in front of your parents? Because my mouth.
No.
This is the only time, you know, my mom just heard me curse on here, but I do not curse in front of my parents.
I don't.
You cuss in front of your mama? Your parents?
Yeah, she's in there right now talking about how to text me.
Do you cuss in front of your parents?
Not recreationally, but in heated arguments, I have cursed, and they know that's pretty much when I've had it, and it pretty much tones down, and we back off from each other. Because I normally don't, but when I get there, I'm there. Yeah,
that's understandable.
Okay. Yeah.
Wait, so okay, well, did you really give us a personal story on this one, or you just okay? It's okay if you don't want to.
Like I can like
Amir.
Did I really like cuss at her? Like I do, like if I do think that like if I cuss at her, like that's an automatic, like it's an automatic trail to hell. Like I just feel like I'm going to hell. Like for that, and I got to do a lot of repent if I cuss at her. But I will cuss in conversation, like you know, like
okay. So real quick, we asked if you know you should not cut off your parents, right? But like we didn't really talk about. Now I'm not saying that this happens often, but should parents be allowed to do the same to a toxic child?
Ooh.
I know a lot of parents who do that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Especially in our line of work with mental health, that you know sometimes you have to, and it may not be permanently, but for your own mental health, sometimes you have to draw that line to cut.
So they get to the tough
while they work whatever they have to work out.
Yeah, I've done all I can do part, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh man, yep, everyone's agreeing in here. I mean, that was quick, right? You know, we all disagreed on that.
They didn't want us to talk slick to them, but they were like, "Yep, I let them go."
In God's name,
on about your damn business. I'm not even know with your shit.
Yeah,
I done all I can do.
Keep y'all in our lives, but I don't give a damn. Gone.
Yeah.
Like,
it's on you now. I done all I can do.
Right? What kind of parents up here? Like.
I mean, I think there's levels to it. I mean, I still kind of say the same thing. You know, if your child is threatening your life, you know, I don't care. I know, oh, that's my child, but I mean, they're threatening your life. You know, same thing.
Yeah. I don't know, but I think somebody made the point that you have to realize that people are human, and it's about ultimately. I know with my mom, and my brother, we have not a love-hate relationship, but we're the most supportive of one another. But when we go at it, we go at it. Mm-hmm. My sister, not so much. I think she's up here watching. She's a little bit more on the more side. She's not. It takes her a while to get there. I don't think I've ever seen all her X amount of years her really take it there. Me and my brother usually have to come to her defense. But when me, my mom, and my brother go at it, oh my God. It is something else. So we just had to realize that whatever happens, let's give each other a couple of days, and then we'll come back together and talk about it. Right. So yeah, just that Taurus and Aries thing. Me and my brother are both Taurus. When we go there, we go there. And
oh yeah, I don't even. And you know what? My brother is a Taurus, but I just say what I got to say to him because he wasn't too nice when we was little, and so you know I just I still my mom be like just let it go, just let it go. But I'm just like no, I'm sorry. I still harbor a little bit. I try to as I get older, I try to let it go. But you know, like I don't really. I just say what I have to say. Like I don't think I've really, as an adult, really argued with him. And like me and my sister and I, we just kind of like talk. But it'd be us and our mom. Like,
yeah, I think Will's on to something with the Aries thing because man, I just can't. Like I'm not.
Yes,
we're fighting. I'm yelling. I don't care. you know, I don't really say anything that I think is like disrespectful, but I make it clear, like, this is what I think. Like, I'm not letting you misconstrue it. No questions asked. You know, I'm not even going to talk about what you think. This is what I think.
Yeah.
Ooh, Amir.
No questions asked. So, you know, me and my
But it takes me a while to get there. I'm going to deal with a lot before I get there. But when I'm there, oh shit, it's on. It's on.
Yeah.
Tables and stuff knocking over. It's a mess.
Yeah, and that's why. Look,
You
you see what she said. Look.
What you say, disrespect?
And that's very, and she means that very personal. She talking
about you. Oh my!
I'm feeling like we're on Ayanla.
Yeah,
like,
oh, I see.
Yeah, I love it.
But anyway, so yeah, that's that. Well, that's fun. That's very interesting that, you know, our parents would be like, get them out of here. We're just like, oh, we're still trying to hold on to the relationship with our parents, and they're like, get them out of here. Like, okay, I guess, okay.
Well, yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, it is very much so.
All right, so I'll go on to my second topic. This is not my first one. Hopefully, I have time to get back to my heated sex topic. But okay, so Melinda, she goes by Melinda French Gates now. You know, she is the ex-wife billionaire Bill Gates. Mm-hmm. So she had an interview with Gayle King on CBS this morning, and she was talking about one of the main reasons why she decided to divorce Bill. I think she filed for divorce in May, and the divorce was final last August. So she said one of the main reasons was his appalling friendship with Jeffrey Epstein. She said she described him as being evil personified. She told Gayle that his relationship with Epstein was definitely one of the main factors in their divorce. She said, I didn't like the fact that he had meetings with this monster, and I made that very clear to him. She also said that she met Epstein a grand total of one time, and it creeped her out. She said, I wanted to see who this man was, and I regretted it from the second I stepped in the door. He was evil personified. I had nightmares about it afterwards. I can't even imagine what the meeting was like. But she said she made it clear that there are still hard feelings that she has for Bill, and that they have a working relationship, but they are not at all friends. So I have two questions for you. So if your partner asks you to block or unfriend someone for the sake of your relationship, how would you handle it? You know, would you do it? And then number two, is it okay for you to tell your partner that you want them to unfriend or block someone?
I'll go. I feel what I like to do in my relationships is to tell people how certain things make me feel.
Okay.
You know, I try to go from that angle. Mm-hmm. So hopefully, based on.
For example, like what? For example, give me.
So, like in the case of Melinda, mm-hmm. You know, the friendship that you have with him makes me feel uneasy. I feel like your connection with him violates, you know, parts of my ethical belief, mm-hmm. and the way we built our marriage. I'm uncomfortable with that.
Okay, all right.
You know, I think it's better coming from that angle as opposed to saying you need to block them. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I would hope, especially being with somebody as long as they've been together, that no friendship would weigh more than our relationship. But it depends. And the other answer is, you know, if somebody asked me to block somebody, I would certainly have to take into consideration how long we've been together, you know, what type of relationship we have, you know, are we just playing around dating, you know, do we see a future, are we married, you know, how much vested, because if, you know, if it's a get in where you fit in, it'll be a no.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody else? All right.
Oh, I mean, yeah, like, you know, for me, I definitely think it's communication. You know, if we're talking, should people be allowed to do this? I mean, yeah, of course. You know, if you're in a relationship, you should be allowed to communicate with your partner that someone else outside of the relationship makes them uncomfortable. But I mean, to me, it's like a court case, call the defense, like, who is this person to you, right?
Right.
Oh, actually, we just old friends. Honestly, we don't even talk like that. Stuff like that. You have to make it clear. Because for me, I was definitely on some messy stuff. And, I had to really go, I probably should block this person. Like, I'm in a relationship. I really shouldn't be talking to this woman. Let me go ahead and block her. So,
were you asked to be? Did Fabi ask you to block her, or did you just choose to do it on your own?
I was asked, and I had to think about it, and I pled my case, and then I was like, you know what, this ain't really, if I want, I have to choose, and to me, I think it's fair. Oh yeah, see, yeah. So I mean, I thought it was fair, but I pled my case. It's not like I just said, oh yeah, it's all good. I pled my case. I listened. I talked about how it felt. Like in some cases I didn't agree. Like and when it came the other way around, I definitely was like, I don't feel comfortable with this person. Like immediately just to be clear the air. I think it's okay.
So what's the minimum and maximum? Like, how many people are you allowed to say block? Like, before it becomes control?
That's a good question.
People, and then I didn't block all my 5 friends. Like, I mean, like, how many is too many? Like,
that's a good question. That's when is it enough? Yeah.
Right. How many friends could you request that I block? Like, I don't really know.
I think that's a fair question, because for me,
I do think so too. Because like everybody makes you uncomfortable.
Right. Yeah. But then that's when you got to say, that's why I said you have to really communicate. If it's really something you're like, okay, hold on a second, you're asking me to block this person. What do you think is going on? Because I'm confused. That's pretty much how I look at it. Like, so I had this girl on Twitter who was like, when are you leaving your girl? When are you leaving your girl? And I was like, oh, just forget it, blah, blah, blah. I'm not paying attention. But really, you know what? It was getting a little bit much. And I thought it was funny at first, but I was like, you know what? I see the value in blocking this person. Like, who knows what they're going to do after a while? You know what I mean?
Right. Well, for me, these people we know. Right. Okay. So I am big on, I believe that if we meet and you have friends, like, I am not really the one to be like, okay, get rid of your friends, because if some of these friends were in the picture prior to me, I feel like, that's, I'm not gonna say get rid of these people, or whatever. But if they do something that, like, I'm going to bring it to your attention if they do something that has made me uncomfortable or made me feel some type of way, or, it's like, I'm not going to be chopping it up with them, if we're in a social setting. I'm not going to be I'm not going to pretend. I'm just not a pretender. Like, I'll speak to be cordial, but I am not going to stand around and hold a conversation with you if my significant other chooses to have a relationship with this person, because I don't know, if it may be a business relationship, if it may be a, or whatever, and whatever kind of relationship it is. But going also back to kind of like piggyback, well, I asked Amir that question also because if it was his choice, or if Fabian asked him to block. But for me, I made a decision to get somebody out of my life, but that was because I saw my husband act some type of way. Like, he was beginning to act some type of way. And I was like, you're not going to disrupt his peace. Like, I can handle, but you're not going to disrupt him. And because he's being disrupted, like, you got to go. Like, I don't give a damn about you. Like, you carry your ass. Like, I don't give a damn, So I didn't need him to tell me. Well, let me not lie, because he was like, like, why are you friends with this person? And I was just like, okay, well, and like, again, I wait, and I'm like, it ain't worth it. Your friendship is not worth it to me. And then, and even when they are around, like, people that are around my daughter, or even my husband, it's just like, we don't really like her, we don't really, and I'm just like, all right, y'all, like, but I don't, I don't want my people to feel no type of way about you because you can go, and I would not feel no type of way, about it. So, for me, I just try to, I don't think I let it get to the point of you saying to me, you need to block somebody, because I'm just funny like that anyway. If you don't have no value, and it's funny because me and my friend just had this conversation. If you're not really adding any value to me anyway, like I'm not really putting
I'm with you on that. My cutoff game is strong.
Yeah, I'm not really putting a whole lot of effort into you. Like that's why, anyway, that's
men, women, and children. I cut them all off.
Oh,
yeah,
not the kid.
Yeah, I don't.
All of them.
You
right, like all the people, like with people from high school, just because we went to high school together, and they want to friend you. Why? Like you didn't even talk to me. Like you called me all type of light skins this and light skin that. She thinks she cute. She thinks she pretty. Now you want to be you bullying. Now you want to be my friend. Damn it, no. We wasn't friends in high school. Like no. Like don't do me. Don't do it. Don't even do it. And that's why even when and it's funny because when I go on my husband's page and I see people and I'm like, why are you friends with them? Like I don't even want them to see my picture. Take all my pictures off your page because I don't even want them to know that we like dog. Like I don't. Why are you even friends with them? Like I don't even.
Yeah, I mean, I still think with Epstein and Bill Gates, like this photo. Yeah, it's just like if you felt like, man, that dude is creepy. I think that's fair. If we take it back to that, just what we were talking about. There's levels to it. If it's just anybody, and it's like, okay, you're being insecure. Like, why do I have to block this person? I'm not even talking to him. We're just friends on Facebook. Like, you know what I mean? I can, but I mean, we got to really talk about this. It can't just be willy-nilly whenever they say something, or do you think this person is attractive? And it's all like, are you serious right now? Like, like I get it, but I'm all like, that's not a good reason. But if you have a whole conversation with them and you feel like they're spending more time with them than you, then I think you have every right to be like, what's going on here?
Right. And it's funny because the other day I had checked my Facebook messages and this guy from high school, we had a bonfire because I'm from like a country town, but anyway, we had a bonfire one year we always like before the basketball games, our football games, we would have bonfires. So we had a bonfire and he had got mad at me and he was like, you a slut, right? He was like, and I was just, I felt some type of way, like even today at 48 years old. And that's been like, since I was like in school. And he had the audacity to send me a message and say to me that somebody in our town was getting voted in and could I vote for this? If you don't just
the audacity.
Like, I don't even like you. Like, I don't even like you. Like, why would you even send me, hey, how you doing? The same damn way that I was doing back in 1990, 1991. Not liking your ass. Don't be sending me.
Boy, you holding a grow up.
Shanika, would you like to make some extra income?
Right.
I know we haven't seen each other, in 13 years. But I used to bully you. Oh, my bad. Well, I hope you're doing well now.
Right.
But I'm with you on that, Shanika, because I get messages from people that used to joke me back in the day. I was fat and I was all that. I'm like, I ain't forgot.
Right.
I ain't forgot. So you.
And it may be petty, and somebody may call me petty, but it's because I feel like people still try to say, "Oh, that's long ago," and words don't hurt. Words do, and words stick to you.
And they stay with you.
Moved on, and got yourself together, and that's great. And we all adults, and that's wonderful and fine. But it don't make it okay. It does not.
You're right. You're right. And honestly, I'm with you on that 100% because anybody who has ever said anything bad about me in junior high school, and we are connected virtually somehow, I don't really interact with those people. You're right. I don't interact with those people. Mm-hmm. We not friends. We ain't cool.
Not at all. It's a girl, right? It's a girl that, I mean, every basketball game I would go to, this girl would make it her business to bully me. She would get in my face. She would like anything and everything that she could do. So one day Walter posted a picture of me and him, and she had the nerve to like it. And I said, Walter, why the hell is you friends with her? He was like, what you talking about? I said, I said, I don't even like her and she don't like me. And I know she know who the hell I am. And why the hell is she liking anything that you like? No. No.
Did you and Walter go to the same school?
Yes.
Awkward.
Yes.
Look, I'll say I definitely get it. I still like see this dude's photo in 3rd grade. He stole my Pokemon cards. I still remember it to this day. And we're not friends, you know. I hope you're doing okay just because I'm a nice person, right? I don't want you to suffer. But you know, don't hit me up asking for nothing. And I won't say, oh, in 3rd grade you stole my Pokemon cards. But just when I see your face, I get that gut reaction, that like memory of like, you could have just gave them back. Or, in fact, I felt like he could have just asked me because technically I got him from free for my cousin. So like it wasn't the fact that he stole them. Like, oh no, I spent all this money. It was like the principle. Like, you know, we could have been friends. Like, you don't change. That don't change since 3rd grade. Oh, yep, that is what happened to the cards.
Did
someone
you
took
got
them.
it, Amir?
Yeah, someone stole them. Yeah. I tell you, I would have given them to him for free. So I'm all like, I don't think he changed that much.
Right.
You know, and I don't care how many years.
I often wonder if the people like that, especially that girl, I mean, like, cause every freaking chance she got, it was just like, and it was too much. Like, I was just like, oh my God, like I had to like see her to avoid her just so that she wouldn't see me, you know, like it was just that bad. And like, I'm just like, I can't, like, I don't, you know. Walter was like, why? And I was like, you know, why, what's wrong? I was like, she's a bully. And I just feel like young kids, teenage kids turn into adult bullies. That's what I feel like. I feel like you're not much different. You're not much different than you were in those years. You just became an adult bully. That's how I feel.
If anything, you just hope that life has humbled them somehow.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's all like, okay, you know, if you ever see a bully and they're just like down and out and they're nice to you, I'm like, man, you know, you ain't really deserve all that. Like, suddenly you feel a little bit better, but it's like, yeah, you just feel better about your own life, right? I ain't gonna help them.
It don't come across as genuine though. Like,
no.
Like, why? I mean, you just feel like a crappy person, so you just trying to feel better about yourself? Nah, save it.
No. And I still don't think they changed too much.
No,
I mean, I know I've grown, but I still feel like I still feel like I'm still who I am. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm all like, I wasn't stealing people's stuff, so
right.
Nothing has changed that makes me feel like I should be doing that now.
Right. All right. I want to get to the next question.
Yes,
okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Who?
You.
Y'all don't have any more? Okay.
I don't know. I just wanted to talk about it before our time
was up. Questions then. Okay, so in the article that Nicki Minaj did, Nicki Minaj said she was replying to a post that was on Twitter where the girl, she said, I faked so many orgasms, it's not even funny. So Nicki Minaj responded, she said, I have and never will understand why women do this. She continued by saying, how will your partner learn how to make you feel good if you aren't honest with them? The rapper then said that what would happen if her partner didn't get themselves together in the bedroom? She said, a bitch like me used to give a grace period. After that, you're getting cussed out every time. They figure it out real quick, either that or deuces. So she went on to continue her thoughts, and she said, I wish I would be sitting there moaning and groaning when I actually want to punch this dummy right upside their head. So, how important to you, now this is where I want some honesty and some transparency. How important is great sex to you in a relationship? And how do you let your partner know when they're missing the mark? Not good sex, but great sex.
I mean, what constitutes great sex?
That's another question that's on my list. I don't think we're gonna get to it. But use your imagination. What do you like? What's great sex? I mean, sex and you climax. That's good sex, I guess. But that just laying there, you can't move. That
Okay, so honestly, I don't think that constitutes. What I think great sex really entails is really. I mean, I know it's gonna sound a little cliche, but I think that to me, it's all day. It's an all day thing. I think that to ultimately get to great sex, like the day has to be set. Like it's a flirting. It's a flirtatious day. It's you're seeing about me, and you might send me some flowers, or you might call me and how am I doing, and it's not about all the things that are going on. It's just about me and you, and like I can't wait to see you this evening, and I'm gonna cook for you, and you are flirting in the kitchen. Like I have in my mind this whole romanticized idea of what getting to good sex is, but it's not even about the sex part to me. It's about all the things that led up to it, and then that was just kind of like the icing on the cake. So it's I think that it is an all day practice. It doesn't just start when we get in the bedroom or a tap on the butt or come here, let me get some. Like I just think that that's so crass, like it's just like, okay, like we got company downstairs, let's hurry up and get it in before we run downstairs. Like I'm not, I don't want that. Like I want like, before anybody misses us, I want it to be, I feel like it's an all day experience. And then, and then that's just the top, that's the top it all, and
so that's great sex. Now, is that realistic every time?
No, it's not realistic every time. It is not. But I think that everyone should be entitled to that feeling. I think that that's what makes you know that your partner wants you and that you want your partner. But I think that it is important to have that type of moment together, just because I think it becomes the passion then comes out. The passion comes out.
Do they know that? Have you translated to them that that's what great sex is to you? That's what gets you there?
This is what great sex is to me.
I'm asking because in researching this, I did a lot of research on it and looked at different videos, and there were questions that said, ask your partner. And I text, Justin, and he sent me some stuff that I thought I was doing that, he liked, that he could care less for. And then he told me some stuff that I was like, oh man, you like that? I would have thought that would have done nothing, but I learned a lot. So the communication and what actually you like and what your partner likes, that was good.
Right.
Great sex experience.
Right. And I don't think it's about, I think it's ultimately what leads up to it. I think the lead in, always the lead in. It's not just like, okay, here, I think people have their routines, it's like, okay, here's the towel, if that's what you do, the towel, and people have their routines, but it's so routine. It's like, okay, like let's do something different, because I do feel like you have to shake it up a little bit. Like, you have to shake things up a little bit to keep like, oh wow, to put something on somebody's mind, as they would say. Like, I need you to be thinking about that, like days up on days up on days up on days.
Right.
So
right. What about you? You two quiet people.
I mean, for me, I definitely think, just I'm trying to think about the question. I'm so focused on what Shanika was saying, but at the end of the day, I think it's really important, for me, and especially, I mean, as y'all know, we got a 1-year-old and another baby on the way, due date June. So we're doing what we need to do. The key is that we actually we like to enjoy it. You know what I mean? It's not really the same if it's like real quick. Oh yeah, like Shanika was saying, that really resonated with like, oh, there's guests downstairs. I just feel like I'd be like, nah, you know what I mean? Like, and I think I do kind of like, just if we're gonna go for it, it's just all in. It's not just, oh yeah, just because I'm bored. I don't know. I've never been like that, but I want it to be great. I don't need it to just be mediocre just so I could do it, I guess. That's not my thing.
Well, for me, a non-negotiable great sex for me. I mean, I don't know. I think maybe I'm a lesbian at heart. I don't know. I've never been with a woman, but I don't know. If I have to oral sex, I can't live without it. And if he don't like to do it, we ain't working. It's just gonna be cut. So, you know, so I'm with her on the grace period, situation, you know. You know, I asked, like, how big is your appetite? You know, I want to know how big your appetite is because we need to get that straight. But yeah, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. And I have had a situation where it was not routine. And for me, it has to be routine. And it didn't work.
So does size matter to you?
I heard the lips smack, but I didn't.
Well, because this is the thing. I stay away from people that are abnormally large. I don't want that. You know. So I mean, I don't want y'all to be looking at. I don't want y'all to see me with a dude and be like, "Oh, he must got a little dick."
I don't think that's what people think when you say that, right? You know,
Well, you
it's
know
okay if it's not big.
I don't want to. It's supposed to be pleasurable, so I don't want anything to hurt. So no, size does matter. You can't be too small. You can't be too big. And oral sex.
Does size matter, ladies, men? I mean, everybody. Does size matter? Like, and even in like, does size matter? And when I mean size, in all encompasses all weight, size, penis size. You know, whatever.
Oh well, weight matters. Because
get you a drink.
I can't. I'm not a girl who's attracted to bigger guys. Now, my cousin, if you don't have a pot belly, she don't want you. She like men that have bellies. I prefer men not to be. I mean, you could be over.
I do not like that term. I do not like that term. I do not like it. I do not like that term.
I mean, you could be a bigger guy, but you just can't be like, big. It's just preference. That's all.
I mean, hey, everyone has preferences, right? I mean, to me, it's kind of like Fabian found an old video from the 2000s where they were talking about thick girls, and every girl was skinny. And I mean, like, I was like, what? And I'm like, I just can't. I mean, I know, things were like that, but I'm just so like, everyone has their own preference, and I'm all like, man, like, if they think that's thick, you know what I mean? Like, goodness.
Well, Amir, back then, thick. Yeah, that was skinny. Like today, we would call that skinny.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's ridiculous. Like, I was laughing, but then I was also like, dang.
Will the size matter?
The size matter? Well, I was not expecting to be asked. I'm gonna be quiet. Okay.
No,
it doesn't necessarily matter. I mean, I prefer, as far as body shape, somebody who's toned. Like I said, but I've never dated my type. My type is the athletic, tall, like Kobe Bryant height, build, stuff like that.
So how do you end up not dating your type?
I've just never dated it. I don't know.
So is it really your type?
Huh?
Is it really your type?
It is my type. Every time they walk past, it's my type. Yeah. Even though I'm married, I mean, I still got eyes, but yeah, my eyes are always drawn to that, but I've never dated it. Other size, I mean, I like to look at it, burp it, stuff like that, but that's all we're gonna say about that one. But yeah, size is nice. Mm-hmm.
Oh my god!
I don't want no big old oversized.
Well,
what about you, Shanika? You asking all the questions.
Okay, so you know what? I honestly think that I don't necessarily think that it's really that the size that matters, because I still think that your people who know that, okay, maybe I don't have a larger size. Okay, okay, so let's start with the weight. Weight. Okay. My whole thing is like, okay, like I don't like you could be thick, you could be a little thick, but I think it's just like how you carry it type of thick.
Mm-hmm.
Like for me, like I don't really discriminate. I just don't. My whole thing is smell. Like I don't want nobody to stink. Nobody. I just don't want nobody to stink. Like that's just my whole thing.
Just
like
saying somebody stink
like
makes
I
you.
just cannot. That's always been a thing. Like I just don't like. I like smell good. I smell good. So But so size, I don't think that size really matters, because I think that, again, this is what I'm about to say. I think that people who know where they lack make up for it in other areas. So if you know that your actual sex game is not good, I think that you try to make up for it in oral. And then it's like,
They
okay,
should.
Right. Yeah.
right.
I feel like
You
I'm
should,
like
right.
I
If
hear
you
it,
are
but
very aware of yourself and where you lack, you should be making it up in other areas. So I think that if you know that you're not really good and you've never, are good, or you have a small package, then I do think that you should be trying to make it up in other areas. So I don't, and I think that sometimes, people tend to think that the bigger it is, the better a person knows how to work it. And that's not always the case. And I do believe sometimes, like in my mind, I think that like if you can dance, then it's kind of like a thought that you can,
if you can thrust those hips hard, you can thrust.
Right. But the bigger the better is not always. I don't think that that's always the case. The bigger the better, because sometimes it's just people don't always know
what to do with what they have.
Right. I mean, I think it's fair. I mean, as long as it's just kind of like, do they compensate? I mean, we always say people are compensating for something. Guy gets a big Ford pickup truck and people make the joke. Then they got the balls hanging. Like, I mean, I just to this day, I understand getting a big truck. That doesn't mean your dick is small, right? I mean, it could mean that. But I mean, for me, if you put a pair of testicles on the back of your truck, that's just all I'm gonna be thinking. Like, this is a literal representation of your penis size, right? Like, that's what you think. And I mean, I just can't get out of my mind. So I just say, to me, I've never heard a story of somebody who's lacking in that department and they just are so great in everything else, because typically they're compensating in a bad way, like by just lying about it. You know what I mean? They're compensating in everything else, but they're lying about it to hide, to cover for it until it's out in the open. So it's just like, I don't even know if that's good. I almost
it's
wish
not good.
they wouldn't do that.
I know all about it.
Like, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know about when people were like, someone like, I don't know if I would ever even. Okay, so if I were to ever come across some bad sex, like I don't necessarily know that I would be like, it's bad. I would just be like, okay, so like,
So you ever had anybody hype it up, like, and then it's
I mean, I've had friends who have like, girl, I just need to try it. I need to just try it and try it and try it or whatever. And then they finally try it and be like, that shit was trash. Like, I don't understand like trash. Like, what is trash penis? What is trash vagina? I don't know. Is it because they didn't move? Is it because they laid there? Is it because it didn't get wet? Like, I don't know. Like, what is trash? What is trash?
Yeah, I would say I agree with that. I think really it's a selfish kind of thing. Like, I didn't orgasm, so it was because their actual body part was trash. And I'm like, that's not, I mean, unless they got a STD, like you felt it. I'm like, you shouldn't, like, that's why testing is important. But other than that, I'm all like, what are you possibly talking about beyond their performance? In which case you got to say, well, were you honest with them? Did you tell them? You know what I mean? If a girl is just like, oh yeah, smack me. I want you to punch me in the face. And you're just like, I'm not comfortable with that. Right. Are you now trash?
Right.
Like that's all she needed to hit that climax, but you just couldn't do it. Now what? Like now you're trash? Well, I just think it's all personal preference.
Yeah. Right.
Absolutely. 100%.
Do you have a consideration of what trash could be, Will?
I mean, I think it's unique to each individual. You know it when you get up. You know it to meet your expectations when you lay there. Yeah. You know when halfway through you like, when is this bitch gonna finish?
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about that. So do you say that when are they gonna finish, or do you stop it?
Well, no. You just don't return. It's not a return customer. You're not a repeat customer.
I mean, I may have been a little.
They'll get it. They'll eventually get it. And they'll reassess, and hopefully they'll improve for the next person.
So for the person that's not being pleased, so for the person that's laying there like, Lord Jesus, Lord.
Unless you're married to them. I mean, then that's just communication. But
I think random. At that point, you
get one chance.
So being there, so saying that you're married, like, is that a soft conversation, or is that a
I think to me it shows up guiding, and I've learned because you can hear it from right there, stuff like cues. You get cues.
Okay.
Everybody don't pay attention.
Oh.
That's fair, but that's the first step, right? Well, is what you mean. Like that's a nice way to kind of say, like, hey, all right, oh, there we go.
Exactly.
There we go. Do that more.
Exactly. And then to me, until I sent those questions to them, I just thought that I knew what to do. And I just thought, of course you're gonna like this because everybody else like this, when really, they could care less about some of the things I was doing. So just having the nerve to ask, what do you like? You can include it in the conversation. Not give me a printout of everything you like. But
right. That's hard.
Trying certain things, seeing how the body responds to it and things, Like
so how did you open up that conversation with Justin? How did you open up the conversation?
This one here with the text? Mm-hmm. Oh, I just texted to him. Oh. I said I'm researching. Oh, I actually know. I just copied and pasted a series of questions, and we just had a really good conversation back and forth.
Okay, I need those series of questions. And then my next question is, do you like to be guided, or is this okay? And this is for everybody, like all the audience, everybody. I need to know. If you are not doing what the person likes or wants you to do more, do you want to does it bother you to be guided?
No, it's so sexy. It's like a turn on.
It is very sexy. Mm-hmm. If done right. Guided? If done right, yeah.
I've been told somebody tell me what you want me to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I definitely think, guiding, talking, it would be weird. Even if I know what I'm doing, I just want to have some kind of there's a connection,
right?
Talking it through. Right. It just helps me feel comfortable, because if it's silent, I'm like, I don't know. Like, if the girl's like, oh yeah, that was good. Like, something's not right? Like, I'm like, silent? You don't got no input, no faster, slower, no right there, nothing.
Right there, exactly.
Even if it really is, and she's not lying, that's the greatest you've ever done. You know what I'm saying? I'm still like, what? In my head, I'm all like, she's not reacting the way I'm expecting. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need to have some kind of conversation.
Right.
Yeah. For sure.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Alrighty.
Okay, y'all.
Oh, we had a great.
Y'all did really good. I'm proud of y'all.
A lot of parents up here, like a lot of parents want to let y'all go. They don't want y'all their kids no more.
Yeah.
Well, it was great.
Thank y'all for tuning in, as always, and participating in the show. Did I see a new face, or was it someone? I thought I saw a new face a new name that I had not seen before.
People be telling me that they tune in, but I don't see them, so I need to figure out where they at. Where are they tuning in?
Are they watching the playback?
I have no idea what is happening. I have no idea.
Who's Kia? So Kia has been on the show before?
Yes.
I remember. Yeah, I remember that name.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. All right. Well, anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. You guys have any final words for our wonderful audience?
Just make sure you continue to share. You can still share after we go off. And
Oh yeah.
if you are watching, and I guess I need to say this in the beginning instead of at the end, because if you are watching after 8 o'clock, it is the replay. So please make sure you hit replay so that we know that you caught the replay. But you can still comment, because we do go back and review the comments and reply to comments afterwards. So please make sure you do that and share, continue to follow. If you have any questions that you would like us to talk about, or topics that you would like for us to talk about, please make sure you put them in the comments or send us them via email.
All right.
And be
And
nice.
don't forget to come back next week and bring a friend.
Yes.
Blocking you.
Yes, don't get blocked. Be nice to your parents. Don't cuss in front of them. And have some good sex, I guess.
Yeah. Tell us about it next week. All right.
Tell us.
Yeah. All right, y'all. We'll see you.
Good night.
Be safe.
Bye-bye.